Hey guys, Jujubear here, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a pretty special treat. I've got Seraphim and we're going to be doing a co-commentary on the FIB tournament, which is a faction inheritance battle tournament. Enjoy. Grill is going to be bringing the Nervii, and she's got two Celtic warriors out on her right flank. She's also got two Mighty Horse up the back there as well. And there's actually a main line of Oathsworn. So 4 Oathsworn along the center. Very strong sword core there. Right up the front, she's shielding with a couple of these Levy Freemen. And out in that left flank, the same thing, 2 Celtic warriors and 2 Mighty Horse, backed up by 2 Germanic Scout Riders. That's all that we can see for now. There may be extra units that are hiding in the mist back here. Anyway, do you want to go over the Swaby build?
Sure. So, looking at Horatius's right flank, out here we have a Spear Levy, a Wodenaz in the center, a Spear Levy, a Wodenaz, and another Spear Levy on the left flank. For skirmishers, we have, it looks like, 3 Germanic Slingers, followed by Swordmasters in the back, and 1, 2, 3 Bloodsworn, 4, 5 Bloodsworn, with a Swordmaster on the right flank. For the cavalry contingent, we've got 1 Germanic Scout Rider on the right flank, Berserkers in the back, 2 of them, as well as a Germanic Scout Rider on the left flank, and a Noble Rider General. So what are you thinking about this third game, Juju?
Oh man, it's all come up to this kind of final match. We had 2 really interesting matchups in the first 2 matches, with Rome featuring in both of them, and 2 very interesting games as well. What did you think about them?
I thought they were really amazing. I think Grill and her use of the chariots and her use of the skirmish cav in the first game to draw away the javelins was brilliant. It would have never ever occurred to me, but of course the defining difference, I think, in blade balance is the lack of the precursor javelins on all the units. So of course, if you're fielding chariots, it makes total sense to waste those javelins as much as possible. Do you have any thoughts specifically about any of the other games?
I reckon the idea that Rome were brung by both players was kind of interesting. I think both players probably have a great respect for each other, and they probably noticed that they're facing up against a pretty tough opponent if they're bringing builds like Rome and BOII and the like.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Anyway, should we hit play?
Sure.
3, 2, 1, go. So how do you take this Swaby build's chance in this match here?
Well, honestly, the Swaby being played by Horatius, I'm much more familiar with it with Grill. She was actually the one that taught me how to play Swaby. So if he's brought a Noble Rider General, which allows him ability to bring fast charge wherever he needs on field, and that fast charge will make or break this game. Other than that, I would hand the game to the Nervii, actually, with the Oathsworn. What do you think about these mercenary Germanic Scout Riders out here on the right flank of Horatius? Well,
yeah, it looks like we got Grill overloading the left flank here with those Scout Riders. I mean, they're running 2 for 2. The cavalry advantage goes firmly in the favor of Grill here with the 4 Mighty Horse and those 2 Germanic Scout Riders. I don't know how effective they're going to be against a build like Swaby. I mean, a lot of the Swaby troops have a very good missile block chance. Probably not the best armor, but all in all, it seems like most of these Swaby troops do have a very good block chance. I don't believe it was moved around too much with the blade balance 2.0, iteration of blade balance. But even still, they seem to be quite good at dealing with incoming arrows and, you know, that kind of thing. How do you actually know what the different changes were in Blade Balance 2.0 in terms of SWABI?
I don't actually know the specifics other than the fact that they lost their javelin precursors, and I know that I think in the SWABI in the SWABI's case, that actually helps them quite a bit, since both factions are prone to missile damage. I really see the Germanic slingers here, though, being a real nuisance, potentially, since the SWABI do have the mobility needed to win this.
Yep. Looks like we are going to get a interrupted charge on those Levy Freeman by the Wodenaz Spears. And we do have Gallic Hunters up the back for the Nervii. Gril's brought a couple of those, I suppose. Looks like it's just one's been spotted so far, but there may be more brought by Grill here.
Oh, so there has been, yeah. I think they're gonna play a role in this, since the SWABI has such a high block chance.
How do you see these Oathsworn kind of dealing with SWABI troops, especially with that fast charge ability that's always looming? Oh, here we go. It's been popped right now.
Well, yeah, here it goes. And you know, at this point, it would make sense very much for Grill to pull away, and she knows this, and that is immediately what she's doing.
Yeah.
Is denying the fast charge of the SWABI, and in my opinion, it was popped way too soon by Horatius. Because the Swordmasters of the SWABI will lose to the Oathsworn without that fast charge. What do you think about the combat here with the Bloodsworn making it into the Celtic Warriors?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. That seems to be the only real case of this fast charge being applied at this point. I mean, the SWABI build coming from Horatius, it just doesn't have the cavalry to be able to hold down different units and enable the charge from this fast charge ability. And it looks like they're starting to lose that ability coming up very soon. If they can get these Bloodsworn into this blob of combat with the Mighty Horse and the Oathsworn over on the left flank of Grill, they may be able to do some real damage. How do you think this engagement's going to fare with the Bloodsworn in the center?
With the Bloodsworn in the center, they've lost their fast charge, and so they're up against the Oathsworn, and I definitely think they're going to lose that. The Bloodsworn have also lost it, though the one Bloodsworn that did make it into the back of the Oathsworn did do a fair amount of damage as the Berserkers and the Swordmasters are being brought in against. But that's what it takes, is overwhelming odds. You know, here you can see the Bloodsworn breaking to that Oathsworn just as we predicted, really.
Absolutely, it doesn't take much.
Again, here the Bloodsworn's being brought into these Celtic Warriors. How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, I think Bloodsworn are very good at dealing with those kind of targets that are a little bit lower, you know, tier units like that. I mean, they are very good at meat shielding, these Celtic Warriors, but if they take a proper charge from a unit like a Bloodsworn with 33 charge bonus, they're going to start to crumble fairly rapidly. And I've just noticed the Noble Rider General out in the flank has managed to deal with a Mighty Horse pretty well, and they're going to be able to get out of there relatively unscathed. How do you feel about the Noble Rider, you know, General being used at this point in the battle?
I thought it was great, because I noticed what he did is he used the Noble Rider in combination with the Wodenaz, and when the Wodenaz get into combat, like right here, they have counter cavalry tactics, and they will just tear down any cavalry on the charge. It's absolutely amazing to watch. I love it.
Oh, Pride being popped. It only managed to reach 3 different units which were attacking this Germanic Scout Rider, so it looks like it was a little bit of a misuse of Pride at this point. They could have been a little bit better used somewhere else in the fight, especially up against the Nervii General. How do you see their chances at this point, facing up against all these javelins and fire from the Germanic slingers?
you know, Grill is really limited numbers here now. She has some excellent units left. This Oathsworn, another Oathsworn, and an Oathsworn General. That's it. The Germanic Slingers, again, we have this case where there's the Slingers left, and anything that engages these Oathsworn can then shoot them from behind. The Bloodsworn have made it into the Celtic Warriors and the Oathsworn. But also the mobility is still with the Swaby in the Noble Rider. What are your thoughts on the Nervi here pulling this one out?
I mean, it doesn't look like they've got the manpower left in the field. They've just got a couple of galley hunters, and it looks like a couple of their. It really depends. These Oathsworn can hold, but once again, Horatius is clumping together his slingers in an effort to keep them defended, but that just means that he's not going to be able to get those angles around into the back of different units. He is getting some fairly good shots into the Oathsworn General at this point, and the Berserkers are starting to lose it and going berserk, of course, against these Oathsworn, getting a number of kills. I don't know how do you see the plight of this Oathsworn Nervii General here, chasing after Germanic Slingers?
A terrible situation for that Oathsworn to be in, and again, Horatius is doing exactly what he should do. He's separating his slingers into totally different angles and then pouring fire in from all different directions against the Oathsworn General. And once that Oathsworn General goes down, the rest of the units won't stand a chance regardless.
Absolutely.
This other Oathsworn out here is in shield wall, but is beginning to falter against the Swordmaster, as is the General. So I'm gonna say I think this game's about called.
Very surprising there. I really thought that fast charge and that pride ability were both misused by Horatius, but he seemed to be able to clinch it and get the right engagements happening for him, and Grill was unable to use the Oathsworns effectively in combat. Looks like they were fairly well nullified. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I think that Horatius popped fast charge a bit too early, and Grill was entirely ready for it. But unfortunately, she just wasn't able to capitalize with the Oathsworn and the Germanic scouts, or excuse me, the Germanic slingers. Again, mobility over weight class, and we've seen that now in 2 games between them. So it seems to be a theme there.
Absolutely.
You care to go over Horatius's build there?
Yeah, so Horatius doing pretty well with those noble riders. Used to good effect, almost like anti-cavalry out in the flanks there, getting rid of a number of those mighty horse and kind of nullifying their use in the battle. Spear Levy doing okay at holding up charges, I suppose. Swordmasters, again, they were able to get good engagements, I suppose. I mean, it's interesting that Horatius was able to win, because I didn't really see any engagements where I thought that he was definitely winning out, an overpowering Grill, but he just happened to kind of slowly one by one just win the entire battle. I don't really know how that happened. That was funny. Germanic Scout Riders doing quite well actually out in the flanks there. Spear Levy again doing quite well. Bloodsworn getting a very nice amount of kills on one of them. I guess that was probably when they were able to use their fast charge ability or get flank charges or that kind of thing. We got those Germanic slings, which were used to great effect. It seems like Horatius is quite good at doing that kind of thing, keeping his slingers alive until late game, and making sure that they can pick off the right targets. Berserkers getting lots of kills, as you'd expect. They were berserk for most of the second half of that battle there, just chopping down Oathsworn. So definitely some cost-effective kills in those units. Cost about 890, so 165 and 149, nothing to sneeze at for certain. We've got Wodnaz Spears also getting a lot of kills. I suppose they were cutting down a lot of meat shielding units that were thrown at them by the Nervii. And it seems like Nervii just had a lot of meat shielding units. Celtic Warriors, Mighty Horse. I mean, the Mighty Horse were probably his real killing power, but he wasn't able to use it to their best effect. I don't know how that worked out, really. What was your take?
That's it's a very interesting point. I expected Grill playing as Nervii to have countercharged with the cavalry, with the Mighty Horse, the fast charging units like the Bloodsworn. I've seen her do it, and I've seen her do it very well before. Where once that charge is interrupted, the rest of the units can then flee even faster. So just to go over her results here, her Oathsworn General had 113 kills, and I'd say that's actually rather low for an Oathsworn. I mean, still respectable. The Mercenary Germanic Scout Riders coming out with 34 and 64. Here I think we see a bit of the failing on this side. It might explain a bit. 21 kills, 54 kills, 6 kills, 16 kills on 4 Mighty Horse. You know, that's not even, that's barely 100, if 100 kills between 4 Mighty Horse. And that's a bit of a shame, in my opinion. The Gallic Hunters got 25 kills, probably not terribly useful against such overwhelming Germanic slingers. The Celtic Warriors getting in there, one with 60 kills, that's quite impressive. 29, 92 for this Celtic Warrior, 87. The Levy Freeman with 9 and 2, so probably, yeah, just like the meat shields as you mentioned. And the S3 Oathsworn averaging 162, 120, 189. So, you know, combined effort, enough to just barely lose the battle. But like you said, there was no real decisive moment that I could really put my finger on. It just seemed like once the fast charge of Horatius went, I figured the game had been lost. Yeah. But somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I was able to turn it around.
It just seemed like a really bizarre game where neither player really played a particularly like fantastic game, but I guess Swaby just kind of got the right engagements, I suppose, and unfortunately Grill probably wasn't able to micro the Mighty Horse, get them into the right kind of fights, that kind of thing, throw their weight around. But yeah, definitely a very interesting match there.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it, and I definitely have to say I certainly enjoyed the entire match, and I'm extremely excited to be able to present these to other viewers. And so I wanted to thank Horatius of the TGR clan and Grill of the SH clan for not only playing these games, but making sure that all 3 replays were sent in. And I also want to thank you, Jujubear, for making this particularly exciting. I love sharing these games, especially with another person who is as excited as I am.
Oh, no problem, man. It was a pleasure doing the videos with you, man. It's always nice to see a really close round like that. You know, had 3 fantastic battles culminating in a really nice final. So yeah, definitely keen for some more battles alongside you.